Well, hey everybody, 650 Eve here, coming to you from hot, sweltering, beautiful Miami, Florida. And I've got another outstanding video for you because today, right behind me, I've got my gorgeous 2025 Aprilia RS 660 factory. Next to it, I have the Moto Million 2025 Ducati Panigale V2S. And if you haven't guessed it already, I'm gonna do a comparison video and maybe even some smackdowns of those epic machines. I'm gonna be using my RS 660 factory in the first ever Aprilia Creator Grand Prix. That's an event where I'm gonna go up against Jake from Spite's Corner and chase on two wheels on the track at New Jersey Motorsports Park in September after a round of Moto America. I'm going to be using this bike. Those two guys are going to be using two Ono 660 factories. So I do have a little bit of an advantage in that part, but Chase on two wheels is an avid track rider, and so is Jake. So they've got more track prowess under their belts. So it's actually going to be a very interesting and competitive battle, but you guys can battle with us online. All you've got to do is browse over to creatorgp.com, sign up with an email address and password. You'll see pictures of me, Chase on two wheels in Spite's Corner. Then once you're logged on, input hidden codes that you're going to find in all of our videos related to the Creator Grand Prix. When you do that, you're going to see yourself gain points and move up the leaderboard. At the end of each month, we're going to give away prizes to the folks with the most points. So all you got to do, guys, watch my videos related to the Creator Grand Prix. Look for 6 embedded codes. Each one of those codes is worth 75 points. You can also score points by liking our videos, commenting, and by buying parts from the sponsors of the first ever Creator Aprilia Creator Grand Prix. Those sponsors include Aprilia, Alpinestars, Cardo Systems, DJI, Quadlock, Moto America, Break Free, of course, where we're at right now, Moto Million, and our good friends at Motivation USA. Come join us in the first ever Aprilia Creator Grand Prix online. Let's score some points. And you know what? When you input my codes, guys, you actually help me gain points as well, because not only do I score points by battling Chase and Jake on the track, but I also earn points from you guys using my hidden codes on the Creator GP website and by purchasing parts and items from the sponsors of this epic event. Okay, I've babbled off quite a bit. Over here you see an SC Project box, because in our very next video, my RS 660 factory is getting some awesome parts installed. Some of those parts are in that box right now. It's gonna get a full exhaust system and lots of other parts, because you know what? I gotta be able to actually duke it out on the track with some awesome parts on this machine. But let's take a look, guys, and do some quick comparisons. We see that the RS 660 factory has a nice size, full color TFT screen, okay? Looks nice. You can configure it in a couple different ways. I've talked about that in some of my other videos. We step over to the V2S, and the screen is slightly smaller. It is. It's TFT, full color, but it's a little bit smaller. You can clearly see that. Let's look at that. Let's go over here and look at this. So I think we can easily say that the RS 660 factory wins in the TFT gauge category. Another category we can quickly discuss is the dials or the buttons on these bikes. Now, these buttons are very nice, easy to use, but they're not illuminated, okay? I like how it has the cruise control button right up here. That's easy to get to. That's very nice. It does get points for that. But we step over here, and yeah, these buttons don't look quite as nice, but they are illuminated. However, there is no dedicated button for cruise control. So I don't know. We kind of have to, we're right in the middle. We're going to say that they're even, because the RS 660 factory does have illuminated buttons, but the buttons don't look quite as nice and fancy. But the V2S has awesome buttons for cruise control, and the buttons look more They just look like more thought was taken, you know, to put into these buttons a little bit, right? And the feel, let me see, the feel, it has a very nice tactical feel. Let's check the feel out of these buttons. They also feel nice. So, yeah, but I like the fact that those are illuminated. That's definitely a plus. Let's look at the lighting on the bikes. We take a look at the tail lights here. I do like the design. This does look like its big brother, the Panigale V4 model, okay? That's great. Let's see if it has a dedicated brake light, because you know I love that, guys. Let's see. Yes, dedicated brake light. What I mean by that is these lights are on, let's just call them running lights at all times. And when you hit the brake, you get a separate light on the bottom, right there, that illuminates. That's a premium touch. Let's take a look at this. I always love the sort of like the Batman symbol, boomerang symbol of this tail light, and it resembles its big brother, the RS V4. That's good. Let's see if it has a dedicated brake light. It does. On the bottom, dedicated brake light. Let's take a look at the front of the bike, and we'll see that this one has nice LED running lights. They look nice. Again, that resembles the RS V4. Take a look at this guy here. Running lights also, and it resembles the Panigale V4. So let's fire the bikes up and see how the actual headlights look. Another thing I want to keep in mind that both bikes do have full Öhlins suspensions. This one has an Öhlins rear shock, it's inverted, and Öhlins front forks. We step over to this guy, also has a slightly inverted Öhlins shock with Öhlins forks. So they're directly even. We take a look at the calipers. This one has black calipers. Okay, I don't recognize those. This one has calipers, Brembo calipers as well. Let's see if they have a Brembo master cylinder. Yes, this one has a Brembo master cylinder. Fantastic. And this one does too. So as far as braking and suspension, they are on par with each other. And that's great. Turn signals and the mirror stalks, they both have that too. So these bikes are very competitive so far, guys. Okay, we've talked about the bikes, we've given them a complete walk around, and now it's time for us to put on our Alpinestars riding gear and take these bikes for a cruise. All right, it's time to ride these two premium class-leading middleweight motorcycles. Manny from Moto Million is on my RS 660 to start the day, and I'm gonna start the day out on this bike. Let's see. I like it, it's comfortable. I've ridden this bike before, guys. I did my first ride on it thanks to our good friends at Bob's Motorcycles in Jessup, Maryland. Really love the machine. Whew. Hot. But to be able to ride them back to back, that's gonna be nice. Oh, this thing's a torque monster. Woo! You instantly feel the 35% additional displacement on this motor versus the RS 660 factory. I will say that this bike is comfortable. And once we swap bikes and I get on the RS 660, we're going to see which one is the most comfortable. Commuting on this bike, very nice, comfortable machine. Love the thick padding on this bike. It's nice. And I don't mind the raised handlebars at all. I think it's nice for commuting. I mean, obviously, if you're going to do a track day, you're going to want to change them out to some race type clip-ons
which of course Moto Million sells, but for your general cruising, this thing's very comfortable. At this point, I still don't know which one of these bikes I like the best. And that's a bold statement because they're both just awesome bikes. At the end of the day, though, the RS 660 factory still does have a $3,700 or so price advantage over this bike. I mean, it costs less, and you can do a lot with that money, a tremendous amount. Yeah, so the gauges on this bike, really nice. I mean, I can tell that the screen is slightly smaller than the RS 660 factories, and it must have some sort of day-night setting, whereas right now it's black on a white background, and perhaps at night it reverses to white letterings on a black background. So the RS 660, it's just all the time a black background with white writing, if you would. We're looking at it there. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but I just can't believe how comparable these bikes are to each other. You know, it's really amazing. They both have ultra clean, you know, layouts with their gauge clusters rested above a very nice area. Lots of plastic. It would be nice when this finally does get aftermarket attention and you can get carbon fiber all over here. That's going to be nice to have the carbon fiber surround this entire gauge cluster, and the RS 660 is going to have that option too. 97 degree air temperature with 100% humidity right now, so we probably won't be out riding these bikes for long in these conditions, but long enough to give you my opinion on these two bikes on a side-by-side comparison. Yeah, great brakes on this bike. As to be expected. I mean, this is you know, these two bikes, there's a reason why we're comparing them. I mean, they're the top of their tier of middleweight premium motorcycles. The quick shifter and the auto blip on this bike are very smooth. It's a very nice bike. The mirrors, even the stock mirrors are nice. There's not a tremendous amount of vibration, and they display everything that's behind you really nicely at a very nice angle. Bike swap time. I like how in the gauges, when you put the side stand down, big, bright and bold, it reads side stand. And today I rode this bike in race mode. It does have multiple riding modes, but race is the most aggressive, where you can do the most. And yeah, so now I'm going to hand it over to Miami Manny. Let me jump on this immediately. Let's see something. Bike's still running. Guys, comfort-wise, they are like neck and neck. This seat, super plush. I mean, the riding position's slightly different on this bike. It's not, the Ducati has a more raised handlebar, believe it or not. This is actually more sporty. So if you're looking for something that's super sporty, then this is the one. You just saw the gauges. As I mentioned earlier, this has a black background with white. It doesn't change. It stays like that day and night, and it's anti-glare. There's absolutely no glare in that instrument cluster at all. So that's a plus. The fuel gauge on this bike, it's bigger. Shows you that a lot more clearly. And it also shows you how many miles, approximate miles you have left on this tank of fuel, which in this case is 180. He gives it revs. I give it revs. Yeah. Look at these. Look at those things. Remote controlled. They're everywhere. There's one there. There's another one here. Oh man, the future has come, guys. It's right here. Delivery bots. Unmanned delivery things here in Miami. Okay, but back to the bikes. Yeah, this bike is, that bike might be more comfortable, honestly, guys. The Ducati Panigale V2, on a scale of, on a 5-number scale, 1 being the weakest and 5 being the strongest for comfort, I give a 5 to the Panigale V2 and a 4 to the RS 660, okay? But that's just comfort. We got a lot of other things to discuss. Styling, the RS 660 gets a 5 and the Panigale V2 gets a 4. In the category of trying to wait for cops to drive their vehicles, I get a 4. But back to the bike in beautiful Miami. These bikes are so comparable, guys. You can see the LED headlights on these bikes as they bounce off of that red car in front of us. I can't tell which one's brightest. Both sides of the LED lights illuminate for low beams, which is great. It's super hot out here today. That's also great. Manny's talked about the handlebars. As I mentioned earlier, these handlebars are lower than the handlebars on the Panigale V2. I'd love to do some smackdowns on these bikes and tell you which one is the fastest, but judging by this weather, I don't think that's going to happen today. Okay, I just did a brake test. The brakes are so similar, guys, that I really can't tell you which bike has the best brakes, because they're both exceptional. Full Brembo systems on both. Great stopping power. I mean, these bikes would be great on a track, for sure. Absolutely. But they're also nice cruising over this bridge on the clean streets of Miami. See, well, let me tell you guys, it's tough. It's a hard decision to make between these two bikes. I mean, they're just so nice, so comparable. So I think the bottom line comes down to price. This bike costs $3,700 less than the Panigale V2, and you're getting basically the same riding experience. I mean, yes, that bike is more torquey from a takeoff, that's fine, but once you're cruising on these bikes, you don't notice the power difference at all. You know, they have the same levels of comfort. I mean, if you like winglets, then, you know, the styling of this bike will be your favorite. If you don't, then that bike is going to do it for you. The brakes on these bikes are exactly the same. The quick shift and auto blips, exactly the same smoothness. So, I mean, it just really comes down to, I guess, budget in this case. You know, which one do you think looks best, and which one is better for your budget? You know, this one costing $3,700 less than that beautiful machine right there. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you watched the entire video and you took advantage of the 6 hidden codes that were placed strategically throughout this video. And I hope you're going to take those codes, go over to creatorgp.com, sign up, put those codes in. You're going to get points for those codes, each one of those codes. And you're also going to get points if you like this video and leave comments. And by all means, please share. And of course, subscribe to this channel. It's an awesome channel, guys. Not only do we review these middleweight bikes, but I have a Ninja H2, M1000RR, Panigale V4 Tricolore Italia, Yamaha R1M, RS-V4 Factory, BMW HP4, Suzuki Hayabusa, and an 1199 Ducati. Quite a bit of bikes there. I probably forgot one. A M1000 XR. Excellent bike too. So yeah, guys. So yeah, like I said, I just used the power. Manny from Moto Million just used his power on that bike. And these guys are vlogging, using their power on the filthy streets. But, you know, I'd love to put both these bikes on a track day, the same day, same time. That would be awesome. Because of course that's when you're really going to see what's going on with these awesome machines on the track, when you're revving them out full throttle. Right now, just cruising along with them in the design district here in Miami as influencers take their selfies and videos. You know, you can't really get the full effect of these bikes, but I'll tell you, what I do know is that they're both amazing machines, and they both should be considered if you're in the market for a middleweight awesome machine. So yeah, guys, we'll do more cruising around on these bikes while people make illegal right-hand turns, and make sure you check the videos out. Thanks so much for viewing, guys. We'll catch you next time on the 650 EB YouTube channel.